Working on a Gottlieb System 3, a Stargate. When you turn it on, a couple problems. For one, on the dot controller board, the LED is not flashing, or it goes out for long periods of time. It tries to do something, but it's inconsistent. But the main problem is, see, the game's in a track mode. I can see it in a track mode, but there's nothing on the score display. So what I did is I checked the voltages. And bottom line, I just used my meter. These two outside pins right here should be -112 and -100, which they are, and then this right one should be 64, and it was not. The reason was these little transistors were split in half up here on the controller board. So I replaced these two end 5551s. This one was broken in half, right in two, and then that one tested bad too. So I replaced both of those. And you can see the game's in a track mode, but we don't have a score display, but I do have voltages. Black lead up and ground, red lead here on the left outside, and I get -118. Shift over one pin, I should get 12 volts off. -106, perfect. Then I go to the outside here on the right, and I should get my 64 volts. I'm getting 66, that's good. And then you got some middle voltage, like you'll have +5 and 12. So we're getting good voltages there. That looks good, but we still have no score display. Different glass panel, just to make sure it's not the display itself. And I still have basically nothing. Because sometimes, we don't know the history on this game. Where it's been, how it's worked, but I was doing some random dots before, but I'm not even getting that now. So at this point, the thing that's cueing me off is this LED on the dot controller board. This board's the dot controller board. Up here, this part develops the negative and positive voltage, the high voltage for the display, and then this is the the encoding for the display, including a game ROM or a display ROM here, out the ribbon cable to the CPU board, and then this ribbon cable to the display itself. So whenever I don't see this guy blinking, I always kind of think this U8 PROM, which is very temperamental, has gone out. So we're going to try replacing that. Those U8 PROMs are readily available from Pinball Resource or GPE Electronics, or that being Great Plains Electronics. So let's try replacing it. Power on. Okay, so now this is something that's real typical on Gottlieb's, the funkiness here. But look, our display is working now. But you hear that tone? Now watch, if I go up here and fiddle with the 5-volt adjustment pot right here, watch the display. And it comes up. And notice now our LED is blinking on the dot controller board. It's blinking consistently. So the U8 was definitely the problem, but this feature where we turn it off and turn it on and have to play with the 5 volts, that's another thing that we're going to have to address. Let me try it one more time. I'll turn it off, turn it back on. See, and it's doing the same thing again at a slightly different rate. You notice the controller light is on solid. Then I'll monkey with this thing, and look, now it starts blinking, and this guy comes back up. So we've got another problem that we have to deal with. So there's a few different ways to fix this garbled screen stuff. The most invasive way is to replace a chip on the CPU board. You know what, that's one way to do it, but in the case of Stargate, there's an easier way. The game PROM right here has several different versions. This game was running version 3, actually 3. So you see it says right here on the Stargate 42/3. It's not the latest. The latest is /4. So I just happen to have a /4 chip in there. So what I'm going to do is, I've already put that in. I'm going to turn the game on with this new chip and show you what happens. Magically, it works. So in the case of this game, a software PROM fixes that issue. Now the next thing we have to do is check the 5 volts and make sure that it's properly adjusted up here, because we did monkey with that. We got to make sure that it's at 5. So I got my meter on DC up here, and I adjust the pot.
Any luck?
5.24. Fire up. The old Stargate. Put the skill shot, oops, up there, into there, into that little side pocket, and it does this animation that takes way too long, and then it puts us right into multi-ball.